Hey everybody, welcome back to the Poke Historian. I'm your host Matt X. This is the show where we take a look at some of your favorite Pokemon cards you know, and hopefully some you don't know. And today, we're going back to the early 2000s to look at one of my most underappreciated Pokemon I feel like in the Pokemon TCG, which is none other than Pichu. And the set is Pokemon Expedition. So if you don't know, the Expedition set of Pokemon cards came out on September 15th, 2002. Had 165 cards, so it had a lot of cards for the time being. And it is credited as being the first E-Series set of Pokemon cards. And if you don't know what the E-Series is, you can see that E down there in the bottom left-hand corner, which denotes that. It basically allowed certain Pokemon cards from these sets to be scanned into a device which was called the E-Reader, which was a Game Boy Advance accessory. And when you scan the cards in, you would get like additional data about the Pokemon. Sometimes it might play a song or just something fun. And the E-Series cards had these thick borders along the left side and along the bottom. And for the more common cards, they have dots, and those dots are what you would scan into the system. In fact, you'll see those on another card we're going to look at here in a minute. But this Pichu is always one of my favorite cards from the Expedition set. In fact, it might be my favorite. I just love the artwork here. Atsuko Nishida did it. She's actually the original designer of Pikachu, but believe it or not, actually didn't design Pichu. That was Ken Sugimori. And it's funny because a lot of people think Ken Sugimori designed Pikachu, but that's not the case. Ken Sugimori designed Pichu, and Nishida designed Pikachu. So, you never know until you look this stuff up, right? But absolutely beautiful, very playful artwork with Pichu here, just jumping through the sky with all these flowers around it. Then you can see below that it's a baby Pokemon, which of course were introduced back in Neo Genesis, and essentially anytime you attacked a baby Pokemon, if you got tails, like the person's turn would end. Kind of gave like the baby Pokemon some extra protection because they didn't have a whole lot of HP. They were like very, very fragile. Then if you look at the bottom right-hand corner here, you'll see the symbol for Expedition, which now that I'm looking at it, kind of like reminds me of an unknown, so maybe that's what they were going for. So this is card number 22 out of 165. There's Nishida. So very beautiful card. And in fact, another thing a lot of people don't know about this card is that it actually has a sibling card here in this McDonald's promo. And then here along the left-hand side, along the bottom, you can see what I'm talking about with those dots that you can scan into the e-reader device. And this card's very cool too. It's got, of course, Pichu again, designed by Nishida in this artwork, where it's around those same flowers that we saw in the regular holo version from Expedition. And one more fact about the holo foil version of this card I should mention is that there are 3 ways you can get this card in Expedition Pack. The first way is you can get the regular holo foil version, which of course is my favorite. There's also a reverse holo foil version where like the whole card is holo foil, but the picture isn't. And there's actually like a regular version of it too. So if you were really trying to collect all the Expedition cards, you'd want to get all 3 versions of this Pichu here. So overall, very cool card, one of my favorite artworks, and Expedition's kind of an underappreciated set, really, especially compared to like Aquapolis and Skyridge. And I guess that's because it didn't have a lot of the crystal Pokemon that have become very sought after and expensive. But even still, it's got a nice Charizard card. It's got some other like starters from Gen 2 and Gen 1, so, and of course this Pichu card. Anyways, just wanted to share this with you all and see what you thought. If you like this video, leave me a like. If you want to see more content like this, feel free to subscribe. And thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.